This is the all-new Lincoln MKC.
It's the latest entry into the ultra-hot compact premium SUV segment. Already this year, we've seen new entries from Porsche with the Macan, Lexus with the new NX, and now the Lincoln MKC. This is built off the same platform as the Ford Escape, but Lincoln used separate design and engineering teams to develop this new Lincoln. The biggest difference is the roofline is much lower, providing a sleeker silhouette and a more German-looking design. Now, in my opinion, the back of this Lincoln looks a lot like an Audi, and one of the reasons is this clam-shaped rear tailgate. It looks a lot like the Q5. An interesting side note, this is very hard to manufacture in one sheet of steel, so they went to a specialty company in Ontario to manufacture it for Lincoln.
This is the angle that says I'm American, thanks to the Lincoln Wing front grille. It comes with standard HID headlamps and LED daytime running lights. You can get 18 to 20-inch wheels depending on the trim and the options that you choose. The MKC starts at roughly $40,000 for the base model. But this is a bit misleading. To get a nicely equipped MKC, extra packages need to be added. There's the Select trim for an additional $2,260 or the Reserve trim for an additional $7,760.
Now, Lincoln is making a big push into the Chinese market, and this is one of the vehicles they're really hoping to get traction with, because in China, people like small SUVs just like we do in Canada. One of the big differences, all Canadian MKCs come with standard all-wheel drive. In Asia and in the US, you can get a front-wheel drive model. Under the hood, two available EcoBoost four-cylinder engines. The base EcoBoost engine is the 2-liter, and this is the top 2.3-liter EcoBoost that starts at $49,650. This specific MKC we're driving has additional packages, and it tops out at roughly $55,000.
The interior of the MKC is very pleasant, but there are some unique features that a lot of people are really going to like, and some people won't. The first is the push-button transmission next to the center console. It's not very intuitive, and going from reverse to forward during parking is not as easy as with a conventional shifter. Then there's the center console. Now, it looks fine, but it's covered in plastic. Honestly, with the price you're paying, I would have expected them to have real aluminum instead of the faux finish. A big plus is the return of conventional rotary dials and buttons. Gone are the sliding touch-sensitive controls in other Lincoln products. The My Lincoln Touch system is relatively easy to master, or maybe we've just become accustomed to the way it works, but this is a high-tech interior and dash. Since this is based on the Escape, the back seat isn't the biggest in the class, but for a compact SUV, it's adequate. The good news is the tailgate is power-operated for convenience. As we mentioned earlier, there are two 4-cylinder direct-injected EcoBoost engines to choose from for this MKC. The 2-liter EcoBoost Turbo 4-cylinder is the same one used in the Range Rover Evoque and pumps out 240 horsepower. The new 2.3-liter unit pumps out 285 horsepower and 305 pound-feet of torque. This is the most standard power for gasoline small SUVs. But the German competition has diesel engines available. Lincoln does not. But Lincoln does have a very good hybrid system that we've seen in other vehicles, so maybe sometime soon we'll see that system get into this SUV. Power goes through a 6-speed automatic gearbox to all 4 wheels. The driver can let the MKC do all the work or shift manually for more control. As is the trend with most other vehicles, this MKC can be equipped with a long list of safety features, such as forward collision warning, lane keep assist, and one of my favorites, it can parallel park itself.
Now, one nice thing that Lincoln has done is they've included an adjustable suspension on every single trim level. You activate it by going into the center cluster here behind the steering wheel, and you change the settings for the drive mode or the sport mode by firming up the suspension or making it a little softer. There's comfort, normal, and sport, and it does make a difference. You can tell a difference between the three. The softest setting is very spongy, like the MKC is rocking on the suspension. This might appeal to longtime traditional luxury buyers. Now, even on the firmest setting, This is not a racy vehicle. It's a nice combination of comfort and feeling connected. So here's my best way to sort of summarize my feelings on the MKC. I've had it for over a week, and the more I drive it, the more I like it. It does a lot of things really well. I really think the star of the show is the 2.3 liter EcoBoost engine. It's the same engine, by the way, that's available in the new Mustang. It's strong, it's got lots of power, lots of torque. Unfortunately, it's using quite a bit of fuel in a combination of city and highway driving, but on the power front, there's no problem. Ford has always done an excellent job with their electric power steering. This is no different. And all of the creature comforts that are available in this car, from the adjustable suspension to a lot of the sync features, really do work well, and I enjoy it. If I had to drive this every day back and forth to work, I think I'd like it.
Zach, what do you think of the Lincoln MKC?
Well, there's a lot about it that I really do like. The design, I think, is kind of fresh. Sure, it's got that American front grille, but the rest of it, it's very German and looks very handsome. I also like the way the engine works. The 2.3 liter is the star of the show. The way you can adjust the suspension to the way you want to drive is very attractive. And the base price is also something that's going to get attention, but it's one of the negatives as well. It really isn't the vehicle you're going to want. You're going to want to add extra packages. They start around $2,200 and go to $7,700, so it really isn't the value leader anymore when you add in all the stuff that you want. And the inside really, I think, lets this vehicle down in a few ways. Now, around the center cluster, they make it look like it's aluminum, but it's not real aluminum. You go look at the new Mustang, for example, they're using real aluminum throughout the entire interior of that car. Why can't they do it with this? And the push-button transmission is gimmicky. It's just gimmicky. That's what I think about it. What do you think?
You know, Zach, I agree with you on a lot of those points. And first of all, I agree, it's a good-looking car, very, very handsome. There's a lot of technology available in this vehicle, and you know what? Don't discount the base engine. It used to be Ford's premium 4-cylinder engine. And last, the interior. The layout actually has a really great look to it, but I do agree with Zach. One of my dislikes is it looks a little bit on the cheap side. And we're really not too impressed with the fuel economy. With our combined city and highway driving, we're averaging about 15 liters per 100K in the 2.3 liter model.
You know what? It is cold though, and that definitely affects fuel economy. So we're looking forward to getting the MKC back when it's warm.
Looking for an SUV? All the reviews are available at drivingtelevision.com.